Hello and welcome to Network. My name is Sphumelele Zondi with your technology and social media news. Now, today we have a special program for you. We are coming to you from ITU Telecoms World, taking place in Durban. But before we get there, the fourth industrial revolution has changed the way we do a lot of things and given us new professions like data science. Now, Sol Plaatje University in the Northern Cape province of South Africa became the first university in South Africa to have data science as a program. It's also that would change the way we do marketing as well. Let's take a look. The fourth industrial revolution is giving us new professions. Data science is one of them. Until recently, there was no African university that offered data science as a program. Sol Plaatje University in Kimberley, in South Africa's Northwest Province, was the first 4 years ago. Gineilwe Sereo is one of the students in the department.
Data scientist basically takes data, which is raw facts, and actually gives it meaning, makes it information. Like taking basic facts and actually coming up with insights to make up something that will make sense to the next person.
Tembela Tapula has already graduated from the university.
Get to know the computer world as a whole, because there's much more to the computer world than we children at school know about. And we get to know what data does, what is data, not like data and NTN getting 100 megabytes, 1 gig, and stuff like that. And and after that you get to have a skill of being able to solve problems using real-time data, real-time information.
He's interning at Angel's Resource Center in DR. Part of what they do is to incubate small businesses.
We focus very much on the unresourced areas in South Africa, Northern Cape being one of them. So we focus on those small towns with less than 40,000 people in it. And because we know there are businesses there as well, and there are people with smart ideas, and they may lack only here and there, they may lack the necessary resources. And maybe they don't have the capacity at that current moment. And we find that sometimes when we step in, that makes all of a difference.
One of the businesses receiving help from Angels is a digital marketing company, Royal Fam. It's owned by DR locals Chuma Swartboy and Batlolele Ntloko. The space only exists now because of social media and other parts of the internet.
Everyone getting to have access to your brand online, digital, because not everyone can actually access your business, but when you online, and then everyone can actually access your business.
What we do, we assist them in terms of helping their online presence, because we know the Northern Cape is quite remote, and then making sure that your business is well known across all borders. We use social media. We design websites. We design digital, your basic content, like your logo, your brochures. So we do all of that for you. And to an extent that we even manage your Facebook account.
But it's not only in their industry that things are done in a new way. The fourth industrial revolution is automating many things and digitizing a lot of industries. It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. You can also use the hashtag SABC Network. Now, joining me to tell me all about ITU Telecoms World and how it's been going in Durban is Deputy Minister of Telecommunications and Postal Services in South Africa, Deputy Minister Stella Ndabeni-Abrahams. Hello and thank you very much for joining me, Minister.
Thank you, Sphumelele. Greetings to you, and thank you for having me. Of course, I have to greet the viewers at home.
All right, it is a pleasure. Now, how did the last week go?
Last week was excellent. I mean, like if you were to go around, if you were not in Durban, you didn't watch on TV, you missed out. South Africa was happening. Of course, everybody talking about the great story that South Africa has made, being able to be the first country to host ITU in Africa. It has never happened. It's the first time of its kind. It has always gone to the developed countries, but hey, we are this country that has produced great likes of Mama Albertina Sisulu, Dada Nelson Mandela. Therefore, yeah, we are conquerors. It was bound to come.
Some of the solutions that came out of South Africa, out of the rest of the African continent, have been great, haven't they?
We have seen lots of solutions, not just immediate solutions, but including futuristic one. You mentioned earlier on the fact of data science, and these are the innovations that young people came up with to say, here we are as Africans, we are ready. We don't need big brothers to hold our hands. All we need is for them to give us the platform. That is why we are jubilant now saying, finally, there's going to be a story to tell in terms of the legacy project that will be showcasing, that will be benefiting most importantly from the ITU and the World Economic Forum after this conference.
What are some of the solutions that stood out for you? What do they do?
Wow. As you go to the SMME village, if you have been to the SA pavilion, you would have seen lots of young black people who came up with lots of innovations. Amongst themselves, there's one that, of course, caught my attention, Cattle Watch, whereby they had big cow in front of their stall. And as I inquired, what is it about? They were telling us South Africa is one of the countries that are too big in agriculture and farming. And we have seen that there's lots of theft in terms of the stock, and they have tried to come up with a solution. Not only that, others are saying, we have seen, Deputy Minister, that South Africa went through drought, and therefore we came up with interventions where we say we're going to detect water leaks. There is everything that they've brought. I'm just mentioning the two, but I'm sure if you were to take a walk in the village, you will see lots of stories. Robotics from other countries, including Abi, a robot that gets to detect your temperature, in terms of saying, how do we help the government, including the Department of Health, to make sure that people don't have to travel all the way from their village to go to the hospital whilst it's raining. At times they didn't even have money just to get their the blood temperature tested. They say we can bring this to the schools so that the villagers can access it. Those are the solutions that people of South Africa are saying we are ready for the fourth industrial revolution.
As ITU has ended, what then happens? Have you had conversations with ITU itself? Have you had conversations with others on what should happen as the legacy of being the first in Africa to host this?
Well, the ITU has made us smile. They've made sure that they commit to ensuring that they will work with us in terms of building the Center for the Fourth Industrial Revolution, first of its kind again in Africa. And that's something I'm certain that wherever they are, the innovators, all those that produce those prototypes, they're saying, thank you, South Africa. Thank you, ITU, for bringing that, because in most cases they have to go outside the country and they'll be paying those ridiculous amounts to get their prototypes tested. And when they fail, they can't even afford the monies again. But now a relief has been brought to say this is the year that we are celebrating the great heroine, Mama Albertina Sisulu. And it has happened. South Africa once will have its own center and Africa will benefit from it.
But beyond that, we've seen a lot of solutions that female startup companies have come up with. What are you doing to assist as the South African Department of Telecommunications?
One of the things that we realized as the Department of Telecommunications is that we can't do it alone. As much as we don't have enough funding to support the innovations, we're working with the Department of Science and Technology through the Technology Innovation Fund. We're working with the Department of Trade and Industry, everybody that matters, agriculture and health, to say we help build up the innovation. How do we then make sure that you take it over, that these people can have access to the markets? Remember, we said there's lots of stories that have been made. There's lots of innovations, but our people do not have access to the markets, which is what this platform was about to us, to engage the investors and the big industries to say, come invest in South Africa so that these people can help you increase your profits whilst they are also deriving the economic spin-off.
All right. Deputy Minister of Telecommunications and Postal Services, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Mele.
All right. So that's Deputy Minister Stella Ndabeni-Abrahams. They're wrapping up what's been happening at ITU Telecoms World for us. Remember that it is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Let's take a short break. We'll be back right after this. It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. We're still having all the fun here at ITU Telecoms World taking place in Durban. But first, let's go to Ethiopia, where there is a manufacturer that has been dealing with all things robotics. So let's take a look.
What if 20 years from now, robots walk the streets alongside humans, doing many of the same jobs that you and I do today? There is no question for Ethiopian developer Ganet Asifa that artificial intelligence makes this a reality. Asifa is a scientist and co-founder of ICOG Labs, an artificial intelligence research space in the Ethiopian capital Addis Ababa. ICOG was part of a team of scientists that developed the software for Sophia, the world's first human robot. Sophia has even learned some Arabic, the developers say. Designed with a high cheekbones and a slender nose, the robot, who is also a citizen of Saudi Arabia, can display 60 types of facial expressions and carry a conversation. Yet few people know that Ethiopia, one of Africa's fastest growing economies, is home to a team of developers that worked in a collaboration with its creator, Hong Kong-based Hudson Robotics.
ICOG Lab is one of most strongest AI outsourcing companies in Africa. We have a part in developing of world leading robot in emotional and expressive. We call this Sophia robot. She got also citizen from Saudi Arabia. We have a major development parts in that. We are building the world leading AI blockchain platforms. We call this SingularityNet.io. We are a core participant of this one. So I can say that we are in the leading edge of AI and blockchain. But nobody thinks that this image is true. Nobody thinks that this is the reality.
ICOG has customers in the USA, Canada, Hong Kong and China and Ethiopia. Asifa says AI and other kinds of innovations, given the right support, could give Ethiopia the push it needs to catch up and bypass other countries. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, in power since March this year, has already promised major economic reforms his government says are designed to unleash the potential of the private sector. While internet access remains among the lowest in the region, Asifa sees more opportunity than ever before under the leadership of the PM Abiy.
Dr. Abiy is from IT background, so I think he will understand what type of problem we will face. So I hope within a year or 2-3 years, things will be changed, definitely. And I mean, we are even seeing that one of our problems is internet connection. We are paying $1,000 or $2,000 for having a very small internet connection that we can't even see video. And yesterday, everything is changed. We now can have a double internet connection. This is one example that we are seeing that.
On AI, some researchers say there is no need to panic because AI will never advance to human levels. It is actually expected to create a growing demand for certain skilled workers, including data analysts.
Bringing it to Southern Africa now, with me is Neo Hutiri, whose medicine dispenser has been winning quite a lot of awards. And next to him is Danai Hakata, who is one of the high school pupils from Zimbabwe who has created this beautiful robot that is on the table in front of us. Hello, and thank you very much for joining us.
Hi, thank you for inviting us.
All right. Starting with you, Neo. What made you think that you could use robotics to create a medicine dispenser?
So in 2014, I was diagnosed with TB, and like millions of South Africans, I was collecting medication at my local clinic. And anybody who's been to a local clinic, one of the biggest challenges that you face is the time it takes for you to collect your chronic medication. And our idea was to say, what role can technology play? And can we actually get somebody from 3 hours to a couple of seconds? And that's sort of what we set out to do. And you could say that I was very much intentionally solving the problem for myself with the hope that the solution can effectively solve this big, massive problems of long waiting times. And so we started working on the Pele Box smart lockers with an intent to get a patient to collect chronic medication fast without spending hours and hours on queues. And obviously, we've been working with the National Department of Health, the City of Tshwane, the City of Johannesburg, in rolling out these units. So we've had the units already operational, serving our people on the ground.
You've been winning awards for this unit. You've been getting quite a lot of funding for this unit. And it's only a very short space of time. Did you think you'd get here very quickly?
Yeah, it hasn't been easy. So, I mean, for us, it was very much, again, showing that the technology can work, proving to the regulator, convincing the Department of Health. And I mean, so right now we were privileged to win the most innovative IoT solution at the last MTN Innovation Awards. And yeah, so that's sort of what got us here. And the idea is to be able to make sure that the technology can access as many communities as possible, and that's where a lot of the prize money is sort of effectively being channeled towards.
Now, Danai, you are in high school. Why are you so interested in robotics?
Okay, so robots, I believe that they are the future, right? They make our life easier, and they also help in so many ways. Like in mines, they can be used instead of putting a human being and risking lives. You can put a robot such that it can work 24/7 without it having to be paid or anything like that. So in the long run, it becomes cheaper, and it is also very efficient.
Are they easy to create?
Not really, I cannot say that, because it requires a lot of engineering and designing in it. Yes.
Yeah. Tell us about the robots in front of us, the concepts, and meeting up with the team, with other students from your school.
Okay, so in Zimbabwe, we have Impact Hub Harare. They invited 4 schools, which are Harare High School, Chinot High School, St. Ignatius, and St. George's. That's where they got the students. And they created a website where we were supposed to register and then sign up for interviews. After the interviews, we had a team that then worked on this robot. So we call her Emma, which is an energy monitoring activist. Right. What she can do, is to grab these boxes.
Yeah.
So these boxes represent fuel or energy that we can, not energy, inputs that we can put in a combustion plant or a reaction plant so that we can generate more energy. We also have this part where we look at the wind energy.
Yeah.
We can generate it from windmills. So it just shows different ways in which we can generate energy.
We probably have to come through to Zimbabwe and have a look at the type of stuff that you guys are creating. But thank you very much for joining us, Neo and Danai.
Thank you.
All right, so that's Neo Hudiri and Danai Hakata there joining me to talk about robotics and some of their solutions that they've come up with. It is SABC Network at SABC on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, rather, or News Network at SABC.co.za. Let's take a short break. It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Now, there have been a lot of farming solutions as well at ITU Telecoms World. And with me, I have 2 of them. There is Cattle Watch from South Africa. There's also Braston from Botswana. Zolani, starting with you on Cattle Watch. How did the idea come about, and what is the solution exactly?
Well, thank you for inviting me. The idea came about the challenges that existed within South Africa, the challenges of stock theft. Every year there is an increase in terms of stock theft. If you look at the crime stats this year, there is 7.2% increase on stock theft. So we started 6 years ago to develop a technology that would address that challenge that existed. So we are happy that we are at a point now where we have a state-of-the-art remote monitoring technology that monitors and locate stock theft. We can track your cows wherever they are.
All right. And how your solution is slightly different, but also in the farming sector.
Yes. Thanks for having me. The solution came about after we realized that we are moving towards a digital revolution. Yet 70% of Botswana don't have internet access. So we created a USSD-based application that would enlighten farmers on times to go plowing, weather conditions. They can also access Wikipedia and their mail from such an application. So it's a subscription-based application, and we have partnered with the Orange Network.
All right, so farmers get information on weather conditions, it's time to go plowing.
Yes.
Where did that idea come from? Were you watching farmers?
No, we realized that it's a digital revolution that is happening, right? And our farmers are mostly based in rural communities. So as much as we would want to get information out to them, it will take time. But once you have a USSD-based application, since most of them don't even have smartphones, it would be easier to relay that information to them.
All right, sure.
Yes.
And Zolani, you have been at ITU, you've had conversations, you've met with potential investors. Anything lucrative that came out of those conversations?
Well, a lot of business just came out. We've been invited by the Deputy Minister from Namibia to come to Namibia to also assist them in addressing the issues of stock theft. We've been talking to other...
so you're crossing borders now, moving from South Africa to Namibia
invitation,
as well.
that's what...
So that's what
yes,
ITU did for you?
That's what it did to us. But also telecoms within the country are interested to our solution, so we are talking to a number of other telecoms network, MTN and others. We have initiated the talks. So the ITU platform has been great because it opened up us beyond the borders.
Yeah. All right.
South
Zolani
Africa.
Kwiliza and Khaone Titao, thank you very much for joining us. All right. Earlier in the program, the Deputy Minister of Telecommunications in South Africa spoke about education and tech education. And let's meet some girls from Cameroon who are getting educated in technology.
A robot whizzes across the pavement, obeying the remote control commands of 15-year-old Xaviera Ngwefo and her team in Yaoundé, Cameroon. Xaviera and her friends are among 20 young Cameroonians studying at the Next Gen Center.
It helps me grow intellectually, and as well, it inspires me every single day. Also, I'm a girl, and I want to gain my respect as well. So, because in robotics, the theory part we do in class is being directly applied as we build the robot.
The center is the brainchild of Janet Fofang, a pioneer scientist and teacher who aims to train the future tech innovators of her country.
If there's any young girl that has exceptional ability and is extraordinary, it's all about helping them get to where they want to go to.
NextGen has a particular focus on getting girls interested in technology as a way to help women move away from poverty.
All right, so there is the ITU SMME Award that also takes place, and the one person who has been nominated on that award is Molweni Rebelo. He is from Mozambique. Hello, and thank you very much for joining me, Molweni.
Thank you very much for having me.
When you got the news that you've been nominated for this award, how did you feel?
It's actually surreal. Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's a world award, so you know it's beyond anything we would have expected ever.
What does SureTrack do?
So SureTrack is a software management information system that allows social workers to identify problems, issues with children who are orphan and vulnerable, and after identifying those problems, create plans to treat those problems or to take care of the children, and then track the progress. It allows NGOs to monitor the people providing this service, which is a serious problem in Mozambique and in Africa, the care of children who are HIV positive or have issues related to health. And this system allows for quick identification and resolution of these problems.
Are you working with any international agencies on this already?
Yeah, so the project in Mozambique was funded by USAID, and it's being implemented by an NGO called FHI 360, and we're now moving to the next level where we'll be working with governments with assistance from UNICEF.
And obviously it's an idea that you are hoping is going to scale beyond Mozambique.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's where the beauty really comes. It's a system that is, I say, piloting in Mozambique, and then going regional, SADC, for example, you're then able to have a database of all these children that are having similar problems and identify solutions that are regional, not just country-based. And that's why you have a real impact.
You're already finding some success as an innovator. How important are events like ITU Telecoms World for you?
Yeah, look, they're critical. For image, for example, I can now go back to UNICEF in South Africa and say, you know, we're doing this in Mozambique and we won this award in your country. Can we work together? That alone is just, you know, it's priceless. Yeah.
And the future now for you. Have you started planning already? You mentioned beyond Mozambican borders in the beginning.
Right. So again, back to ITU. The networking we've done here is tremendous. Next week I'll probably be going to Swaziland to talk to the government there to see if we can start